98BX 107.5 FM, Winterville, North Carolina. WNOS 1450 AM and W272EK 102.3 FM, licensed to New Bern, North Carolina.
Good day, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Awesome Radio. You are tuned into the Glenn Johnson Show. Motivation with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams. If my voice don't give out today, so today we're doing part 2 of herbs and spices. We have some very interesting facts. I'm also going to include horseradish and rutabaga in today's topic. Here's Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams.
Hey, Dr. Glenn, and to our listening audience on today. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. We welcome you to this continuation where we're talking about herbs, and we're also going to be talking about spices. Dr. Glenn did some extensive research here on horseradish, and I have to say it right off. Oh, wait, let me go before we go. I'm going to wait to say it. I think everybody already knows what I'm going to say about horseradish, but I want you to call in today, and you could be a part of the show and be live on the air with me and Dr. Glenn. The phone number here is 252-756-2008. If you want to call in and have something to say, I know you have something to say about horseradish today.
And I want to know what it is.
Well, I'm just saying this. I believe I've had horseradish before. And I think, Dr. Glenn, that it is very nasty.
Is it?
That it has a funky taste to it.
I never tried it.
Yeah, it's nasty.
What I'm curious about, the reason why, because I did see that it's high in potassium, because I don't eat anything with potassium, particularly bananas.
Well, it's very good for you. It has some very good benefits, but there's also some cautions that we have to look at with horseradish here. And I wanted to, I said, I bet Dr. Glenn didn't see this on one of the documents here. But if you have your if your thyroid is under, you're not supposed to eat horseradish, and you're on thyroid medicine.
Yeah. One other thing you mentioned, if you're on dialysis, people on dialysis can't consume anything with potassium. And since it's high in potassium, they have to avoid horseradish.
Well, that potassium is so good for your body. And so maybe, if you need it, you may have to ask the doctor how to get it outside of having it through horseradish, because that potassium, I will say this, that sometimes when, and I can only talk about myself with it, sometimes when I stretch my legs out in bed at night, I'll get a really bad cramp or Charlie horse. That's what we called them growing up. I never had them when I was young, but as I've gotten older, I get them sometime, and it is also a sign that my potassium is low, because I don't eat a lot of things that are overflowing with potassium, like bananas. Bananas is one of the things you can get potassium from. I like bananas, but I don't eat them that much.
Right, and that's one of the reasons why I printed out that document, because it said something about potassium, and I don't like bananas, but I did print out a document that contains potassium that's found in other food items.
Yes, so that's what you have to watch. But, I want to say, before starting here and kicking off here, the Bible talks about herbs, and, God gave herbs for us to help heal our body. That's why herbs, they were even mentioned in Genesis, back with Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
Herbs were mentioned there because, that was going to be for their meat. Back then, they weren't eating, meat like we're eating now. They were eating herbs and different things for their meat.
Yeah, because if you look at spices on the first document I gave you, down below, it says medicinal, traditional remedies, e.g. ginger and turmeric.
And I believe that if we really did go and look at things like, whatever's going on in your body, and you begin to look up which particular herb or spice that you needed that would help support that issue in your body, a lot of times we wouldn't have those issues. Go and find out what herb works on that or what spice works on that and begin to eat that with your food. And I know it to be true. There's some things that in the past I used to eat all the time. And I didn't have certain ailments until I moved here and I stopped eating those things. And I mean, I didn't know at the time that some of those things were things that were protective to the body. I just like to eat them. But then in a different atmosphere, a different culture, I wasn't eating it like I was there. And now I have things that I didn't have there.
Like you were saying, things that might be good for the body that you never knew. It's like I say all the time, prior to coming to the station, I'm always listening to the Agriculture Youth Show. It's a rebroadcast show. Today they were talking about foods that benefit stress. So that was very interesting. They were talking about some very, very good stuff that relieves stress that's found in foods.
Definitely. And Dr. Glenn also has a document here on the turnip and the rutabaga.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very good one and a very interesting one that we'll get a chance to go over or look at here. Because I think a lot of people might not know the difference between the turnip and the rutabaga. And a lot of people in our culture will eat the turnip bottoms, but not the rutabaga, and not understanding. My mother, she would put the rutabaga in the greens. So we didn't really know if it was turnips or rutabaga that we were eating because it was always mixed with the grains.
Oh, yeah.
But it tastes good. It really did taste good. So we'll look at that. But I know that horseradish can have a little spicy kick to it. If I remember correctly, it's got a little spicy kick to it too.
It mentions that it does. It's spicy.
Yeah, and I know in the stores you can buy horseradish. It's kind of white looking. They have it as a condiment over like where the mayonnaise is, and I'm thinking barbecue sauces and that kind of stuff. It's like a garnish condiment.
Because if I'm not mistaken, on one of the documents it does say that it's in the mustard family.
Yeah, it's over with those things. It is in the mustard family. You're absolutely right. But it is, I'm just sorry, Dr. Glenn. I'm just sorry it's nasty. It doesn't taste good. It's not something that I would seek out to put on my food. It doesn't have a good taste to me.
But
and that's just me, I'm sorry, but I just don't like it.
That's what I was about to say. You have to keep in mind that's just your particular body.
Yeah.
But to somebody else, it might be wonderful.
They may like it. And it's one of those things you have to develop a taste for, like sauerkraut. I like sauerkraut, but I do not like horseradish. I won't put that on a hot dog or a burger or anything. I'm just like, I will pass over that. But as you're saying, it is my taste. And it's not everybody else's taste, but it's kind of more or less, I feel like it's more like a garnish, like a mustard, like you put on a hot dog. You wouldn't sit down with a bowl and say, well, what is that? I'm eating a bowl of horseradish. I feel like it's a garnish.
It is a garnish.
Something that you would eat on the side, but it does have great health benefits.
Yeah.
And so let's look at that here and look at some of the things horseradish benefits. And there's an interesting facts from North Carolina State. And I'm thinking, what does North Carolina have to say about it? That is so important that there's a document from North Carolina about horseradish. But let's look at the benefits. And it says here, and this is one of the things I thought was very interesting. It says that it helps with rest, and this is the horseradish benefit document. It says that it helps with respiratory health. And it's traditionally used to clear the sinuses and support respiratory tract health due to its pungent compounds. Well, Dr. Glenn, I could see it helping your sinuses because it's spicy. It's going to make your nose run.
Yeah.
When you eat it, your nose is going to be running. Your eyes might be running because it has a little kick to it. So I could see it clearing out your sinuses and anything in that area. Yes, go ahead, Dr. Glenn.
One other thing that it mentions on the North Carolina State, it says harvest leaves dye after first frost. Roots are dug up with replantable side roots or stored for spring.
So are they using the leaves of the horseradish? I'm thinking that it was some kind of little something that they smashed up. And not leaves, because the horseradish is not green. It's white, right? If I'm correct, it's
Well,
kind of whitish,
well
tannish looking.
let's just see. Well, yeah, it is in the mustard family. I can't pronounce that word that says after, but it's probably green prior to becoming white after the process.
Okay, okay. And it says pungency, hot, bitter taste from mustard oils, release when cells are damaged. So it acts just like some of the onions. When you cut the onion, the thing that makes you cry is the fact that the onion is trying to defend itself.
Yeah.
It's a defense. And so it's releasing, and that's what this does too. It also releases, juices as a way, or oils as a way of protecting itself. And it says also here, spreads readily by underground roots, difficult to eradicate if not managed. So when you plant this, you better know what you're doing, because this particular, and it has to be anything that tastes that nasty has has to be tough.
It's got it. Anything that tastes that nasty, like you put it, it's got to be good.
It's got to be good, but it's tough because it says here that if you plant it, it's going to try to run over and take over.
But here's a good thing. Also on page 2. I just lost my spot.
It's difficult to get rid of it, is what they're saying.
It says ancient uses. It dates back to at least 1500 BC. The Greeks used it as medicinal rub for the back pain.
Yes, it says here too that it is a anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
That it will help with anti-inflammatory, and that's what I thought was very interesting. That it does. It says that it also has inflammatory and cancer preventive properties. That eating horseradish has cancer preventative properties. And so also it says a hardy perennial, family valued for its intense sinus clearing flavor. So it's going to clear out your sinuses, cause your eyes and nose to run because it's spicy.
Could you do me a favor?
Yes.
Would you go to the part where it says the chemistry of heat? Heat, or page 2,
The chemistry
up at the top.
of the heat.
Yeah. The chemistry of the heat.
It says the pungent heat is not present until the root is damaged, grated, or crushed. So when it's there by itself, it's not hot until you grate it or crush. And that's what I was saying. I believe that it was something that had to be crushed, but it's not the leaves, it's something else. Because it's not green, it's white looking. Unless when they process it, it turns white. But it's white looking, it's not like a green colored thing. It's more of a lighter color. And it says here, the action mixes the enzyme and releases volatile ally, and I can't even say that other word, but that's what it said. Some of these words are very good. It said capturing the heat. Vinegar is added to the processed horseradish to stop its enzymatic reaction and stabilize the level of spiciness. So they put that vinegar in there because it has a vinegary taste to it. Like I said, in a very distinct, kind of strong. The taste is something that it's like after you've eaten it, it still be kind of in your mouth. It's one of those tastes that kind of lingers around. It has a very strong, pungent taste for that particular herb. And it says medicinal properties. Historically, it was used to treat scurvy due to its high vitamin C content and as a natural antibiotic against bacteria like E. coli.
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm looking at that. We might better be eating some of that
You better
stuff.
eat some of that horseradish.
Yeah, gonna have to chew it up and learn how to swallow it real fast. Don't breathe in, just swallow it. But it has some great benefits. And who would have thought that horseradish has such great antimicrobial microbial properties, and antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Just to think that there's a lot of things that are sitting right in the grocery store, and horseradish is not expensive. It's not something that's very expensive.
And if I'm not mistaken, then it also mentions something about antioxidants.
Antioxidant and anti-inflammatory contains antioxidants and compounds that may reduce inflammation, potentially benefiting cardiovascular health and acting against certain cancers, though more research is needed. It said a digestive support. It can stimulate your appetite and aid digestion and bowel regularity. I can see that because it's spicy and it has I can see that making you go to the bathroom. I know that it could, Dr. Glenn.
It probably could.
Well, the smell alone can cause some things.
And we still have 30 minutes for today's broadcast, but I bet you mentioned at the top of the hour. This is our first broadcast of 2026, and I was thinking, and I have to talk to my co-host further, and the owner of the station. I was kind of thinking to our listeners, if there's a topic or something you need us to research and to get information on, we'll work diligently to get that information. If you would provide me with your question or concern, and you send that to my email, glennjohnsonshow@gmail.com. That's Glenn, Glenn, Johnson Show@gmail.com. Because I want to give our listening audience the opportunity to have a say-so on what we broadcast. But of course, like I said, all that have to be approved by the owner of the station, if it's even allowable. Apostle?
Yeah, so I do believe, Dr. Glenn, that you can take suggestions.
Yes,
That they can email you if there's a show topic that you would like to hear or something you would like to see us discuss on this particular platform. Let us know, and we will see how we can put that together for you and also announce it before that time. We'll do the research and we'll bring that forth so you'll be able to hear what it is. And we'd love to hear some feedback. Love to hear some feedback. Hey, email Dr. Glenn and tell him how he's doing.
And, and please be diplomatic about it. We don't want to cause harm or any foul play or anything to anybody. So be very, very diplomatic about it. If it's approved, we will do it. But it has to be approved.
Definitely. But any topics that you want to hear or see us cover here on the show, I mean, there's a lot of interesting things going on in the earth right now. We're been over and to Venezuela and those topics. Somebody might, we just stole a whole president from another country. So there's a lot of things that we might, and I just want to say here too, when sometimes we make light of very serious subjects, it's not that we don't feel like the subject is serious, but I do believe that everything in that we ought to laugh sometime. Sometimes there's a lot that's going on, and we could really be weighted down with things if we don't laugh sometime. Dr. Glenn?
Absolutely.
And we're going to do maybe a show on laughter this year.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Let's talk about laughter and see what it is and what it does to the body. So let's look at the rutabaga and the turnip.
Yes, please.
Dr. Glenn, I'm just confessing that I didn't know there was a difference in the rutabaga and turnip. And in the grocery store, they can look a lot alike. The rutabaga is just bigger, can get to be bigger than the turnip.
Is it brown in color?
I think they're more
Purple.
both of them. Both of them can be purple and whitish looking on the outside.
Yeah.
But that rutabaga, it does look a little bit different than the turnip bottom. But I know inside the rutabaga is more yellow than the turnip bottom. The turnip bottom is white. It's white when you cook it, or more on the cream or whitish color, scale than the rutabaga, which is yellow.
I think I had some rutabaga one time in my life.
Well, I did talk about root just last week. was speaking to someone, and we were talking about the things that we came up with that we ate as a child that we won't touch as an adult. And one of the things that I have eaten as a child and now I won't touch as an adult, and everybody thinks it's so fancy and so fine now, is oxtails. I don't eat oxtails because my mother used to make those things and I hated those things. I hated those oxtails. She always boiled them. It wasn't what we saw today with this nice brown looking gravy on them, and
Yeah.
the way they making them look fancy and make them look good, but that's the same little oxtails that I hated when I was a kid. And someone else was sharing with me that it's the rutabaga, that they won't eat a rutabaga as an adult because of the way that their mother cooked that rutabaga when they were a kid.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, so I don't eat oxtails. I mean, oxtails are expensive. I was in the store the other day. I think it was four little oxtails, like $27.
What?
I'm not. I can't see it. I don't understand what the fascination is because I've been burnt out on it as a child. I don't want no oxtails. Nobody's oxtail. So let's look at the rutabaga and the turnip. And I know there's many people that feel the same way, that they grew up on certain things and now as an adult they won't touch it. They don't like it because they got burnt out on it, or maybe because how the family prepared it and they didn't have all the fancy ways to make things taste a different way. They just fixed it and you just had to eat it. And
Yeah.
a lot of people now as an adult, there are things that they won't eat because of that.
They fix it, put it on the plate. You better eat it.
You ate it or you went hungry.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then sometime if you tried not to eat it, you went back later to find it after you rejected it because you were hungry.
I remember one time I had stayed over one of my uncle's houses. Got up in the morning. He made these eggs, but I didn't like the way he made them. So I threw them in the trash. He found them, and Lord have mercy. I should have never threw them in the trash.
He didn't make you go eat them, did he?
No, but I couldn't sit down for 2 weeks.
See, they didn't play because food was valuable back then. Now,
That's exactly what he said.
now we let kids mess over whatever and all the time don't say anything about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's look. This turnip, it says, is smaller. It's exactly what I said here. And just checking with the paper here that we have, or, the information we have on the turnip versus the rutabaga. As I said, it said the turnip appearance is smaller, best when tennis ball size. Now, I remember them being a little bigger than a tennis ball.
Oh, yeah, they're much bigger.
Yeah, them things are bigger than the tennis ball.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't, but maybe they're saying they taste the best or that's tender. But I always seen them, they were much bigger than that, baseball size, some of them. Even those rutabagas can be bigger than that, some of them. Those can be some huge things.
Well, one thing you mentioned that I probably didn't realize when I first ate it, it says taste peppery, radish like when raw, but it's mild when cooked.
Yeah, so that's that bottom. That bottom can have who eats it raw though? Some of this stuff, I figure that eating it raw is for a rabbit or some type of animal that eats green things. I've never tasted them raw. Our family always cooked them, but my mother would mix mustard and turnip greens together, and she would put the turnip bottoms in there, and sometimes she would put the rutabaga bottom in there, and we wouldn't know the difference. Some of them, and it's the rutabaga. I was getting ready to say that one of them has a sweeter taste, and it says here that the rutabagas are sweeter, and turnips are spicier and peppery. It says here, rutabagas are yellowish, oranges inside, and turnips are white inside. So everything that I said to you, even getting off the top of my head, is absolutely what our document says here. It says the texture is crisp when small, but woody and thick skin as it grows larger. But as I said, we don't eat the skin.
Yeah, but
Who eats the skin?
I'm thinking that it could be graded because it also mentioned use. Both are great for roasting, mashing, and soups, but turnips are also excellent in salads when young.
Yes. So now I have seen in stores, and I don't particularly, I'm just saying I don't particularly care for it. In the raw salads, there have been, I know that they are putting like turnip greens in there, and they're small, small little turnip greens in there. But I believe those things need to be cooked with some salt pork.
Well, since you mentioned that, I have so seen salads with some purplish something in it. I don't know
Well,
what that purplish something is.
it's not purple. Those greens are not purple. They're just green, and but they're small. They look like little folded fans.
What is the shredded kind of stuff you see that's purple in a salad?
I don't know what that is, but that's the thing that has a spicy taste to it too. I've
Yes.
had it, but those turnip greens don't taste like that. They're younger, and it said they could be eaten raw, sliced like radishes. And this is, I think, it's talking about the turnip bottoms. It said that it's a woody or bitter taste when they get bigger. I don't know them to be bitter, but this is what it says, that it can become watery or mushy if overcooked.
If any of our listening audience have any information they'd like to share, please call in 252 756 2008. We have 20 minutes remaining for today's broadcast.
And it says that the rutabaga, when it's cooked, it becomes sweeter and tastes like sweet potatoes.
Yeah, I saw
Oh
that.
no, I don't know that it tastes like no sweet potato
No,
now.
no.
It's not that sweet.
That's nearly impossible.
It has a little sweet and undertaste to it, but I don't know that it's sweet enough to pass off or be up there in the rank with sweet potatoes.
I agree.
Yeah, I've had it though, but it wasn't that sweet. Maybe they were putting a little sugar on it. It says that rutabaga consumption reduces prostate and colorectal cancer risk. It says also here that it has health impacts. Turnips and rutabagas are similar to one another. They impact health quite similarly. However, turnips and rutabagas often impact some health conditions with different compounds they contain. And it says diabetes. It
Yeah.
says blood sugar control is crucial for diabetes management. Turnips are reportedly beneficial for diabetes. Studies show that turnip extract may lower blood glucose levels and increase insulin levels.
Now, you saw the second page. I highlighted some stuff.
That's where we're at.
That's where
Well,
you're
this is page 3.
Oh,
We're
you on page 3?
Yes, we're on page 3,
Okay, yeah.
where it says diabetes, health impact.
Yes.
Yes, so it says here that turnip extract. And I'm going, where in the world do you get turnip extract? I've never seen that before. Some of the stuff they say here, turnip extract. I wonder where you could buy it. I mean, we don't know everything. And it might be sitting right there in the grocery store, and I just don't know what we're talking about. But it said turnip extract, that you can get an extract. Turnip leaf extract can be beneficial not only for sugar control, but lower LDL cholesterol and triglyceride levels.
Yeah. Now, the part I was looking for is right down at the bottom on that page 3.
Mhm.
Rutabagas and herb or spice. The answer was no.
The rutabaga is a root vegetable, not a herb or spice. Though it's often cooked with herbs and spices for flavor. So yes, this is actually a vegetable, and it said that it's rich in potassium too,
Yeah, that's the part I was
which,
talking about earlier.
which regulates blood pressure. They also contain glucose. I'm not even gonna try that word. Compounds known to reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. So this is another thing that helps with stress, potentially lowering the risk of cardiovascular issues. That's awesome, Dr. Glenn. This one is And that's the rutabaga.
Yeah, that's a rutabaga.
It says, while rutabaga is a vegetable, it is frequently seasoned with various herbs and spices to enhance its flavor. Now, Dr. Glenn, I don't know about all this stuff that they're saying that people season it with, but my mother used to put the salt pork and put it in the greens, and it was just salt and pepper in there. We didn't use rosemary, thyme, and parsley, chives, or Italian seasoning, but I'm sure that all of those may give you a very good taste. Garlic powder, paprika, and nutmeg and cinnamon, and black pepper with it. I don't know that I'm familiar with all of those tastes mixed with it.
Do you see this part? Potassium-rich foods.
Yes. It says potassium-rich foods includes fruits like bananas, oranges, melons, and dried apricots. Vegetables such as potatoes with skin, sweet potatoes, spinach, and tomatoes. Legumes are beans, lentils, and chickpeas. Dairy like milk and yogurt and fish. Salmon. Key sources are starchy vegetables, leafy greens, beans, many fruits, and supporting heart health and fluid balance. That's the potassium-rich foods.
And that's the part I was interested in because although those potatoes contain potassium, it's also starchy. So if you're diabetic, you got to be concerned about this starch.
Definitely, but it was something to find out that potatoes were potassium rich. And you know, what gets me is that a lot of people can eat a lot of potatoes and still be potassium deficient. I think it may be the amount of potassium is lower in potatoes than some of the other foods.
That's probably the case.
Because there are people that be eating potatoes all the time, French fries, all kinds of ways, and still their potassium is low. So it may be the amount that is in there that makes it. But I know spinach is one of the foods that is high in potassium, and it's one of the things that a lot of people don't like. They don't. A lot of people don't like spinach. They don't like it cooked. They don't like spinach salads. But spinach is so good for you.
Another thing I mentioned was fruits and dried fruits. But I like the one where it says dried fruits, apricots, dates, prunes, raisins, or concentrated sauces. The one I don't like is avocado, kiwi. I probably could take the mango, but I would stay away from the papaya and the pomegranate.
Now, I like all of those except that mango and the papaya. Those are the two that I would exclude. But I do like avocado. I do like guacamole. And I do make guacamole at home sometime, and I'll make it and eat it with carrots. I like them baby carrots in that guacamole, you know, but outside of that, the avocados, that's the only way I eat them.
Ooh, I can't stand that.
I love that green stuff. Now, you know,
Ooh.
avocados, that guacamole, if you leave it out, it turns dark. It will turn black.
Yeah, because it's already green.
Yeah, but it will turn black when the air hits it and stuff. So that's one of the things you have to seal very well after you make it. You know, when you break it open, it's going to look black and look yucky. So
Really?
I won't eat it when it turns black. So hey, Dr. Glenn, let's look here. I had a few more from last week
Okay.
that we did not look at, and what we have some others here, spices, and we're gonna have to pace this out because it looks like we have less than 30 minutes left for the broadcast.
Yeah, we have 16 minutes.
16 minutes. My goodness. I don't know that we're gonna finish all of this. Hey, I wanted to say this, and we gotta go back to this, Dr. Glenn. It said that horseradish has benefits for your skin.
For your kid, yeah.
Skin. We didn't talk about that.
Let's do that now, then.
It said how horseradish helps skin. It boosts circulation and glow, stimulates blood flow, brings more oxygen and nutrients to the skin, creating a healthy radiance. I'm looking, it says here, it supplies antioxidants and vitamin C to fight aging and brighten tone, promotes collagen for firmness, and offering antimicrobial properties for cleansing. However, topical use requires caution as its potent compounds, mustard oil, can irritate the skin. So it is generally safer in controlled cosmetic formulas as a dietary supplement in moderation, not applied directly as a raw poultice unless diluted. So what they're saying is it is good for your skin, but you can't put it directly on there because it's spicy and it'll burn your skin. But it said it's best to find it in cosmetics where the amount of horseradish is controlled.
Yeah.
But other than that, eat it and it'll help your skin.
And you can grow your own horseradish if you would like.
Did you say grow?
Yeah, you see that document?
Oh, yes, I did see the growing the horseradish, but it said here that also the horseradish is hard to eradicate. If you plant it, it's going to be hard to get rid of it. So that's
Really?
what you got to watch because you could dig it up and it still come back next year. They're saying that it's hard to get rid of it, that the roots go down so deep until even though you think you've dug it up, you can look up and it's taking over your area. You may not want that much horseradish.
You might not, you might not want to do that at all.
Well, you might need to put it in a pot or something where it can be contained and it won't just take over because that's what they're saying about it, that it's hard to get rid of it. It says that horseradish gives collagen support, contains vitamin C essentially for collagen production, which maintains skin firmness and elasticity. It helps to brighten your skin tone, helps even skin tone and brighten age spots. That is awesome. And I did say that if you have thyroid issues, you need to avoid, especially if your thyroid is under hypothyroidism and are taking thyroid medications. Safe ways to use for skin: incorporate fresh grated horseradish into meals for general nutrient intake. That is awesome, Dr. Glenn.
I'm looking at that document because I'm looking at the part where it says how to grow horseradish when it goes through the soil. Horseradish will grow in all soil types provided they are well drained and high in organic matter and fertile. The recommended pH is 6.0 to 7.5.
Well, they're trying to tell you that that thing is easy to grow.
It's easy to grow.
And that's why I said that it's hard to eradicate. That if you grow, you got to make sure that you really want it because trying to kill it is a different issue. Trying to get rid of it because it will spread out and it will take over. You'll look and maybe plant it a little bit, and now every year it's growing and growing, growing, growing. The patch is growing, growing, growing,
Yeah.
and growing outside of where you would like for it to be.
Well, I know people with gardens, but I have yet to see anybody that was growing horseradish.
Dr. Glenn, I hate to say this over and over again. That's because don't nobody like it. I'm just kidding. Some people do like horseradish, and I'm sure that there's some people that are growing. There's a market for it. It's in the grocery store, so it is something that people are looking after and that people like. So I'm going to stop saying negative things about horseradish.
Yeah. And the rutabaga, because I know people put that in a lot of food items.
Definitely, but that rutabaga, that anti-inflammatory, and a lot of people don't like it. It's an acquired taste, just like the turnip bottom. A lot of times people will make the turnip greens, but they won't put that bottom in there.
Yeah.
That bottom, that root part, that little round thing, and cut it up in there. But it's good in there with the greens to slice it up, and cook it right in there with the greens.
Is that the one that's kind of round, but towards the bottom, it goes out like a carrot?
Yes, it can have a root on it like a carrot. Now, most of the time when you see it in the store, it's not like that. And then most time when you see it in the store, you just see the round bulb part. But it can have some roots on it, when they pull it out of the ground. Sometimes you may catch a store that has those roots on it.
Yeah.
But most of it is usually cut off by the time you see it in the store.
Yeah, with the round ball and the carrot looking bottom of it and some leaves up top.
leaves up top. It can definitely will have a sprout on it.
Yeah.
Not huge, big fanning leaves, but it'll have a sprout on the top of it. Because I've seen them in the store with the sprout on. And as I said, I grew up eating those. So for me, it is no issue. I love them, and I love them in some turnip greens. Some greens. Mama used to make turnip and mustard greens together and mix them and put those bottoms in there, and some salt pork to season them greens. It was always good. Always good. So we had from last week 12 herbs and spices that promote wellness. And one of them we didn't talk about on last week was cilantro. And we talked about that being in the grocery store a lot. We hear about cilantro cut up in meals, or sometime when I go out to eat, I'll see that they have the cilantro in the food, but it's not something that I use at home. What about yourself, Dr. Glenn?
Well, I know I heard that word used in a lot of Italian dishes. Cilantro. I have no idea what it is.
Well, a lot of them, the seeds and different things are used, also, to help. As we talked about basil on last week, dill is another one. And I know a lot of people like dill. I like dill relish. If I'm gonna eat a hot dog, I like dill relish on it, and in potato salad, and even in when I make tuna, I put a little bit of dill relish in there. Dill is good for you as well. And it says here that dill,
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
yes,
When you mention potato salad, when you prepare your potato salad, in addition to the relish, do you include mustard?
yeah, I put a little mustard in there, a little
I
mustard
love
on
potato
there.
salad with mustard.
Right on in there. Make it, it needs to be yellow. Potato salad needs to be kind of yellow on the yellow side and not white. And that's how you know you got a good potato salad when you
That's
got a
how you
little
know.
mustard in there
I know that from experience.
and a little bit of that dill relish and get it right in there. Oh my goodness, that's some good potato salad.
Yeah.
I can make a really good, I do make a pretty nice potato salad, Dr. Glenn, if I must say so myself. My husband and my grandbaby one time, I told them, I don't know what happened. I came back, the potato salad and the bread was gone. And I was like, were they eating potato salad sandwiches? How they eat all the bread and the potato salad? So let me tell you, that's how good the potato salad was. But garlic is another herb that is so good for you. And a lot of times we do use garlic and they turn it into a spice. They dry it and turn it into a spice. And I think we have a particular document here on spices, Dr. Glenn.
Yeah, we do.
Spices are dried seeds, fruits, roots, bark, or other plant substances used to flavor, color, or preserve food, differing from herbs and often used in medicine, rituals, or perfumes. Common examples include black pepper, cumin, cinnamon, turmeric, chili, ginger, cloves, available whole or ground, adding flavor and heat to cuisine worldwide, from simple blends to exotic varieties. And now we all know about black pepper. I don't know who cooks or eats without black pepper. Everybody uses pepper. At least most people that I know have black pepper.
But I do know this. Certain individuals love spices so much they have a spice rack or a spice closet.
I do. I have a whole shelf, Dr. Glenn, with spices that I put spices on. That black pepper, I don't know that I have any turmeric, but cinnamon, and I just learned that cinnamon came from like a tree bark.
Yeah.
I don't know what I thought cinnamon came from. I seen the cinnamon sticks in the grocery store, but I didn't understand that that was a portion of tree bark. I never thought about where it came from.
Yeah, because that could be shaved also.
Yes, shaved and rolled up into the little things or
Yeah.
pounded into powder, but I didn't understand that it came from a tree. I never knew where it came from. I saw it processed recently on a documentary, and that's how I knew it came from tree bark.
It's like nuts. There's only one nut that grows in the ground. All the other nuts grows on trees. The one that grows in the ground is peanuts.
Yes. Dr. Glenn, are we down to our last 5
5 minutes, yes.
Wow, the time has gotten away here. And we have missed all of our breaks. We don't have those going this time and last week. And here we are, and we're rolling down to the end of our time here. I want to say that if you want to be privileged to any of the documents that we have, you can email Dr. Glenn and he will send you a copy of these documents. One of the things he said here about spices that you need to avoid putting them in the refrigerator or the freezer.
Yeah.
You don't preserve them. And that's the truth. You know, if you look, spices need to be on a shelf and dry. And they can come mostly in shakeable containers where you can shake it on the food.
And they need to be cool.
Need to be cool and in a dry place. It talks about cayenne pepper. I don't use cayenne pepper. And is paprika the same as cayenne pepper?
It's the same.
I was thinking that it was, but paprika is not as spicy as cayenne pepper. I put paprika on things. I put it on my little, you know, when I make deviled eggs, I put paprika on top to decorate it. When I fry the turkey, I put paprika on it. It is not hot like cayenne pepper. I thought it was cayenne pepper. But we're going to look at that, and I'm going to come back with you. We'll come back. I'm going to leave a cliffhanger. We're going to come back and find out if paprika is the same as red pepper.
Yeah, email me so I won't forget.
I won't. I don't think so. Because, you know, paprika is not as spicy as cayenne pepper.
We'll leave that for a cliffhanger. Also coming up at some point, we'll be doing a topic on Martin Luther King. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, because one thing I want everybody to know is everybody's familiar with his famous speeches. Hardly everybody knows about the one where he says, if he had sneezed, he would have died.
Right. And Dr. Glenn, I'm thinking that now, didn't I hear that his holiday is being removed as a federal holiday? That Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday is no longer a federal holiday?
No, I didn't hear that.
Oh, we got to come back with that because I think that is a reality. I did hear something that said, and look, our callers, you call in now or next week, and we'll talk about that. But I heard something about his holiday being removed as a federal holiday.
That's got to be a ruse.
Oh,
That can't be true.
I know it can't. We would think, right? But in today's time, you have to look around, and some things that you think wouldn't be happening can definitely be happening. You got to expect the unexpected.
I was going to say something, but in respect of the radio station, and I better not say it.
Yeah, don't say it. Don't say that. I know what you're thinking, but I want to say it too, but I'm not going to say it. But anyhow, we thank you so much for coming on today and listening. I hope that some of the things that we have said here have been a great help to you. Go on your own and research these things more, especially the horseradish, the turnip, and the rutabaga, and look at those things and incorporate them in your diet if you absolutely can. Dr. Glenn?
And as always, should you desire the documents that we have before us today, please email me at glennjohnsonshow@gmail.com. That's Glenn, Glenn, Johnson show@gmail.com. Apostle.
Yes, I was going to give a couple of scriptures that talked about, because there are Bible scriptures that use herbs and spices where it talks about the cinnamon, the cumin, cassia, and different other spices in the Bible. We didn't get to that at this time. It's a broad subject and a big subject, but take it in your own time and look. They even use figs to heal sores and boils in the Bible days. So there are things that sometimes we may have gotten away from, but we need to embrace it again for healing in our body. And so we're going to ask that you come back. We want you to hang in there next week. I'm going to come back with that information with you. Is paprika a part? Is it red pepper or not? I'm going to come back and we're going to answer that question next week, no matter what subject we're doing. Hey, we thank you for tuning in with us. This is the Glenn Johnson Show, and I am Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams. We hope that you come back next week. We look forward to you. God bless you and God keep you. Dr. Glenn?
I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in today for our first broadcast of 2026. Thank you so very much. We have 20 seconds, Apostle.
Oh, yes. Hey, we know you enjoyed what we brought today. And again, if you want to see a show or hear a subject matter, email Dr. Glenn and we'll look at it and we'll get it out there and get you the information. And next week, we're going to come back knowing if Martin Luther King's birthday is still a holiday or not. God bless you and God keep you is our prayer. We'll see you next week here on the Glenn Johnson Show.
Okay, let's see.